I couldn't say anything, so I just stood behind him in the queue. And so there I am, like a complete idiot.
Film Grease, the film from, like I said, we always show Canadian film at every festival. This film is from a Canadian director from British Columbia. Why do you think they called it Grease? Anybody want to raise their hand and answer that question?
I have no idea what they call it Grease.
Wait so long for that.
That was the anticipation of a lifetime. I didn't say anything. I gave you the moment.
The tension was palpable.
Yeah.
I think it's because she's in Greece in her imagination.
Yeah.
It's that like magic that she somehow happens to be in that place that she's connected to with her daughter, that she's I guess escaped the life that she actually had. The mother obviously wasn't happy with her life, with her children and her family. She didn't treat them too well and ended up in this situation. And she's fantasizing now that she's just inside her head about where she always wanted to be the whole time. And her daughter's kind of doing the same thing, right? So it's about where we, the life that we fantasize about for ourselves. And except that her daughter is actually now shedding this, relationship in order to go and have her own future, her own life.
Yeah, well, it seems like you have an answer now, right?
I know.
Yeah, I was just being a smartass.
Okay. Well, that was good.
It was an amazing film, though. I really liked it.
Oh, you did? Good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm happy to see like both of these films with like really good roles and good performances for adult women.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it is interesting. Like, as soon as a lot of females, as soon as they reach past 40, you don't really see many roles like these days, and it's cool to see.
The only thing about this film is, and it did a really good job of kind of bringing you into like really subtle moments that the characters are having. It was walking a fine line with the flashbacks and the visuals and stuff. It was a little bit on the nose sometimes, almost like I don't think it was meant to be funny, but it kind of was. As you say, they could mention certain things that you would see a shot right of that thing right when she would say it. I felt like those people laughed when she mentioned the white teeth and the kid smiled. I don't know if that was supposed to be funny or not, but if it wasn't, then it's.
I just felt like that was almost like a guided meditation, almost like so they were sort of. Like the daughter was saying, you see this, you experience that, you feel this, and I felt like the film was sort of showing us what the mother was envisioning in her mind as her daughter sort of said the words. That's at least how I took it.
Okay, triple threat here. She wrote it, she directed it, and starred in herself. It's a tour de force.
That's usually a disaster, but yeah.
It's a tour de force performance. That's a really, really powerful performance she gave. I was interested that the audience did not react to two things I thought they might react to. One is that the English woman thinks that we in Canada live in cabins and chop wood for heat. I thought maybe people would react to that. And then the teeth is maybe, well, we have the stereotype is that British people have horrible teeth, and you're trying to make her imagine a young boy with perfect white teeth.
Yeah.
And again, it was a playing on a stereotype, and I didn't hear even a murmur of reaction to that stereotype.
Oh, I said I reacted to both of those things he said. I reacted to the Canadian thing and I reacted to the teeth thing. And then I said it to my friend and then she goes, well, maybe he's just hard of hearing.
No.
So he didn't hear me react.
So obviously this is kind of a powerful film about, there was a really kind of interesting last shot about it's because we don't always, even if you're a doctor, you don't know, but you assume you know. But basically the synopsis of this film is that as soon as the daughter leaves, everything goes to black. Like she doesn't have Greece anymore. It's like it's clouded now. And she needs her daughter, even though her daughter's going to walk away. And it's kind of an interesting kind of synopsis of the film.
I wasn't sure if it was the mother's imagination or the daughter's imagination until the very end, when the clouds moved over the moon or the sun or whatever it was, the sun. Like if the daughter was imagining that the mother at one point had a beautiful life, or and that it was her fantasies.
Yeah, it is interesting. Because it's up to interpretation of it's the mother who's thinking about her daughter. I got the mother, but maybe other people got the daughter. So we'll go to the gentleman over there. Yeah, this is a film really kind of a lot of imagery. Really just one location, a lot of close-ups, 15 minutes, and like I said, it's a triple threat. Which, like I said, I see a lot of short films, and that's usually a recipe for disaster 99% of the time. Well, not this film. Go ahead.
Well, I just think that was a really poignant element of it, is that just exactly what we're discussing here. Is it in the mother's mind, or is it the daughter projecting on? She doesn't know either. The daughter herself is wondering just that. Is there anything, is she in there?
Yeah.
Am I just talking to myself here? You know, it's quite agonizing for her.
Totally. And I think that if you're ever in the situation, I think we want them to be there, right? I think that's the optimism. We want the person to be alive. We want that person there. But hopefully they are, right? We just don't know, I guess. Maybe one day we will.
Well, I also thought it was, I mean, I think it's really the whole thing about Alzheimer's in general is really sad, and not having the people that we once knew not being there. So that really struck me. But I also thought, you know, the woman is attempting to, she doesn't know if her mother's in there, and she herself is trying to find herself inside herself. So I sort of saw that playing off of each other. And the mother sort of being symbolic of the daughter attempting to mine herself to see what actually was true for her. And I also think that the mother like moved her hand at one point when she was talking about being with the boy, and the symbol of the clouds at the end. I do think that the mother was there and listening, and I think it is important that we interact with people who have Alzheimer's and, you know, are in that kind of state, that we kind of keep them fresh and alive, and keep their memories alive and all that sort of stuff.
You know, okay, I was just going to say towards the end, the daughter was also saying something like she was sort of remembering, like, oh, we were so, like, we were always running around and, you know, dragging mud in, and, but we were only kids. Like, it felt like, you know, she was almost choosing to remember things maybe worse than they were to make it easier and to sort of justify not having to sit there in that cold, dreary room and guess whether or not her mother is hearing anything that she's saying, or if they're connecting at all, or if she's just sitting in a dreary room by herself with an entity, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of subtext in this film. Like, it just, for me, I don't know what you guys thought. I thought every moment was real. There was like, I was sucked in. I was right in there, and it just everything felt real to me. And like you said, yeah, like we're all guilty of rationalizing our decisions and make them easier, right? So we can spin things in our head.
I just wanted to say that there seemed to be no feeling or no real love, no affection given right through the whole thing. And the daughter didn't even realize that she wasn't giving that. She was so wrapped up inside of what she was going through.
I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. I think that there was a lot of love on the daughter's part. I think I got a lot of that. No, you didn't get any of that?
I don't know. I went through all this with both my parents for the longest time, and it would have been very strange if that's the way that we were.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's interesting because we all kind of like internalize our experiences, I guess, right?
Yes.
I guess it's how you define love, because she had such a bitter heart about being raised, but most of the stuff that she was bitter about was, I guess, being disciplined. And she obviously still talked a lot, but she also, there was a flash there that she had never been a mother, because she was also had bitterness about the way she was raised. She was bitter she didn't have a child, and that's not a time to desert your mother, but that's what she did from bitterness.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on. Yeah, like her dream, the daughter's dream at the beginning is to have a simple life, is to have like a husband, and then they're watching television, and then they have a baby monitor, and she talks about like extravagant things, but that's what, you know, maybe a lot of our dreams are.
Well, she said at some point, "I'm sorry," or something, and then that we bothered you so much. So it comes through that the mother wasn't such a nice mother for her. And I just thought both the women were incredibly beautiful, how they were caught in their own lives and affecting each other. And I think it was really hard for the daughter to let go and get her own life. Like, she's probably trying to get her attention her whole life, and it's just amplified by the disease.
There's a lot going on in this film. There's a lot of interpretations and subtext. I guess it's what movies are. We can say that it's about.